Joseph W. Brady visits with John Ohanian. The topic, progress on the Silverwood Master Plan Community Project.
Barry, we're sitting at the far northern portion, what I consider to be the nicest piece of land within probably Southern California to develop, and one that took well over 40 years to finally get here. So we're here with John Ohanian at DMB Development. John runs this massive project that we're going to go out and take a look. They're grading right now 1,987 lots. They have 9,600 acres, 15,663 dwelling units, and it's been about 5 or 6 weeks since we've been on out here. And I noticed just when we pulled on up how that area right to the south of the parking lot had been raised. It looked like about 30 feet.
Yeah, pretty close.
That's a pretty big amount. So we're here to talk to John and kind of get an update. I'm getting a lot of positive input from people that are watching this, because I think after all these years and the long process that Los Flores took with Don Hutchings and Oliver Cagle and Bill Betterly, and then it became the Tapestry Project and now Silverwood. People now are saying, wow, this is really now a real deal and a real master plan community. And I think with what we've seen before and talked about the connectivity that DMB and the master developers are bringing and how they're looking at this long term, and this will be, John, you made a comment that really resonated. You said that hopefully somebody will come back home from work on Friday night and not get back in their car until Monday morning. And that, when you look at the layout of it, you can really see it. So John, welcome.
Well, thanks, Joe, for being out here. And it is exciting to see all the activity that's taking place. We're doing a lot of grading right now. We have made pretty good progress, and as you suggested, this northern end of the project has really started to take shape. You're going to see as we drive out today. We'll drive down Silverwood Trail, and you'll see how the road has been. We're at road grade now. There'll be fences along some of this, although most of this we're trying to use landscape to differentiate, or to separate the areas all the way up through the first section of land. And we'll be getting into a point, I'll take you down and show you where the bridge is going to go, that we're just getting ready to build across the wash, and then on out to the area where we're going to be developing the first lots. You can see the alignment of Silverwood Trail going up there. Now, this is the bridge right in this area. You can see where we're building the abutment for the bridge that will cross this canyon.
We're not going to delve too deeply into cost factors on this report, other than to point out that the bridge itself is a $3 million project, and today's current escalation of inflation has a huge impact. There has been a 160% increase in the cost of pipes and fittings, for example. You won't find operators of these earth movers burning any rubber in the parking lot. The cost of each massive tire is $5,000 on these road graders, excavators, bulldozers, scrapers, and loaders.
We're continuing to work. It's kind of an interesting market we're living in right now, as you watch what interest rates are doing and kind of what the economy is doing with inflation and all. We're seeing that builders and investors are a little wary of where the market is and where it's going to go, but we're pretty comfortable with what we're doing. As I mentioned to you before, we don't use debt when we build our projects, so we're not hampered by that, and we're not governed by what interest rates do. We still plan on delivering lots to builders the second quarter of 2023, and we still plan on opening the community the first quarter of 2024. And we believe firmly that rates will stabilize and that the market will get back to a normal. And actually, we've been looking at this thinking that this is a needed correction, that the market really needed it. The inflationary rates and then the price point escalation had just gotten untenable. And it got to the point where housing was not going to be affordable if you just kept seeing these price points every single week going up. In our view, that was unsustainable. And so we're kind of, for us, it's a reset. It kind of gets the market stable. If mortgage rates stay below 5% in the long run, we feel real good about where the economy is going and what this project can bring. we're commissioned in our hearts to deliver affordable product. We really believe that that's what's missing in this marketplace, is a really high quality, affordable product that young families can purchase. And that's been our kind of our mantra from the get-go, is to deliver that house that a first-time home buyer or a first-time move-up buyer can acquire and live in a really high quality environment. And so that's certainly what we're expecting to do, and we're pretty excited about the ability to deliver that.
That's great. How can they afford to do this right now, and what's going to happen with mortgage rates? And I said, well, builders have been known to do builder buy downs. And this person said to me, how does that actually work? And I said, well, they're going to write a check up front. You're going to pay for it somewhere. They're going to put it in the price, but they can get that mortgage payment down, for the first 3 to 5 years to get you comfortable. Because at the end of the day, what's happening is, people will buy a payment. The builders have obviously, no doubt, stopped pretty much buying anything in what we call the high desert of the Mojave River Valley. We have a deal that was literally ready to close. The price point between the four models, the mortgage payment was $1,300 9 months ago. Now it's at $1,900, and at the big unit it was $2,600, and now it moved to $3,300. The builder has not scrapped the project, but they've decided just to wait, and they've gone back to landowner and said, you either got to work with me, or I'm going to propose a haircut to you that's going to be substantial. So now you got a standoff between a really good builder and a really good seller. But I think it's a real market. So
yeah, that's the benefit of what we do, is being we're the land bank for builders, right? So we'll build lots, and we'll allow builders to take down finished lots so that they can be closer to the sales point. So you buy a lot from us, and then 9 months later you sell it as a house. So you're not land banking inventory, which has been the biggest problem for their stock values and what the public builders have been so worried about. So being able to structure a transaction like that, where we have the flexibility to be patient and allow them to take down lots on rolling options, and so they don't have to take them all down at once, that's really beneficial to the building community. And it's why we think that even though there might be some trepidation in the marketplace, we need houses in this state desperately. We're way behind in delivering a product to meet the demand in this state. I think I read a study where we're in our Southern California metro, we're about 1.8 million units short of what's needed to satisfy the existing demand, and that demand continues to increase all the time. So we know that we have to be in production. We know that we need to deliver those things, and that makes us believe firmly that there's a good market. But you're so right that they're very payment sensitive. The first-time home buyer is going to be very payment sensitive, and he's going to be comparing it against renting and looking at what that delta in cost is. That's going to be a big deal to them.
And I think your stat about the 1.8 million households, that's actually equates to 5.4 million people in the Southern California strand of 24 million people. That's why there's so many people priced out of here.
Right.
So I don't see anything, and I will say this: I think that we recently had a conversation and an update with Brightline. While the Brightline deal is not a done deal, I feel better that it is moving forward. I believe that they're absolutely committed, but they have a couple issues on out there too. The amount
Sure.
of bonds. There is going to be a big infrastructure bond announcement made by our president sometime in October. It looks like it's $65 to $75 billion. A good portion of it's going to be kind of the Northeast corridor, but about $20 billion is going to be sent out, they think, to California. And Brightline's hoping to pick up about $3 billion of that to augment the bond sales that they have to do, and then to get moving. So they're still moving. That, I think, really becomes for this project, and I think for the Mojave River Valley, that's the biggest game changer that any of us will ever see. Things, you think about it, you get right off at Ranchero or around Ranchero on I-15, and you come right on home here. Yeah, it's great. So
yeah, I think it's going to be it's a game changer. You're right, Joe, and we're looking forward to that. And believe in those Brightline people. They've got a really good vision of what can happen, and I'm excited to watch them. One of the things that is kind of interesting is watching the process along Ranchero Road and the improvements that are going along there, and the city's commitment to upgrading transportation facilities, not just along Ranchero, but within the whole city. And we've been working together with them on strategies on how to maximize the bang for the buck, if you will, for where they can spend their money, where we can help them by front-loading or up-fronting fees so that they can get enough money to actually do improvements. Instead of getting it like they do on a house-by-house basis, we're agreeing with them to give them large chunks of money up front in exchange for fee credits, but we give them the money so that they can actually build large-scale improvements. Ranchero Road is an example of that, and there are others that the city has on its agenda. The city is also working really diligently on building its own new wastewater treatment plant, and that the proposals, RFQ went out a couple months ago. The city is narrowing it down to some key people that they're going to get proposals from, 3 that I think they'll ultimately choose to get proposals from, and they intend on being in construction on a regional wastewater treatment facility that'll be significantly valuable to the whole community of Hesperia, and it'll give the community an opportunity to start converting some of these septic systems that exist in the city to sewer, which will really improve the quality of the groundwater. But in doing that, they also are going to generate a lot more recycled water, which can be used for irrigation purposes, so that projects like ours and others can take that irrigation demand off of the potable water system and put it onto recycled water, which is just going to make a much more efficient use of resources in the community.
Gentlemen, I said I don't see anything slowing this project down.
It is downright fascinating seeing the rapid excavation and dirt-moving progress underway at Silverwood. We hope you'll be watching when we return with our next progress report from Silverwood, whose unique traits and credits include being the first fully dual plumbing solar planned community in California.
They were cool, but they didn't have to tell me a whole lot. And he was not going to stop.